morning, crafty friends, and happy Flosstube Friday. Today is Friday, January 8th. We have made it through this week, and it has been a rough one. It's definitely been a rough one. Um, I can't decide how much I'm going to talk about. This is literally the third time. No, it's probably actually the sixth time I've tried recording. I'm having a difficult time figuring out how to frame my thoughts and how much to say and what to say. So, let me first put out this content warning. I am going to say something about Wednesday and what happened Wednesday. If that's something, if hearing that or listening to stuff about that is going to be detrimental to your mental health, then please skip ahead. My first concern is for your health and safety because I love you and I care about you. And if talking about this is going to hurt you, I want you to skip ahead. If you're not in that boat and you're just trying to ignore everything that's happening, I would ask that you stay and listen anyway. We're past the time where it's okay to ignore it and pretend like it's not happening. So I'd like for you to stay if you're willing. If you don't want to hear about any of this, any of my thoughts or opinions or feelings that are outside of crafty stuff, then I invite you to not watch if you don't want to hear about that stuff. This is my channel, and I do mostly keep it crafty, and I try to keep it light and positive because I know a lot of people are looking for that. They're looking for an escape, and I understand that. I do. But I'm also not going to allow that to keep me from expressing myself or sharing my opinions or talking about things that are deeply affecting me. And this is deeply affecting me. As evidenced by the fact that this is at least the third time that I have tried to have this conversation with the camera. So, if you're not here for that, that's totally fine. You're more than welcome not to watch me or my channel. I'm not forcing you to stay here. So, if you're not here for that, namaste. Be on your way. It's totally fine. But for everybody else, protect your mental health first. And if you're okay to move forward, let's move forward. Wednesday was nothing short of domestic terrorism. It was an insurrection and it was an attempted coup. A bunch of people descended on the Capitol building in Washington, D.C., and through force and violence attempted to overthrow the government, essentially. They did succeed in disrupting the joint session between the House and the Senate as they were working to confirm the Electoral College votes for President-elect Joe Biden to confirm him as the future president. 5 people died as a result of this action by these people. And none of that is okay. And it's not okay to call it anything less than terrorism. It's not okay. It's not okay. Furthermore, these people were treated in a very different way than they might have been otherwise because they were white. The threat that they pose and have posed has not been taken seriously because of the color of their skin. Things would have happened very differently on Wednesday had it not been a group of white people doing what they were doing. And that's a truth that we all need to face head on. And it's not okay. It's not okay. None of this is okay. And there's nothing that can make it okay that it happened. And as if all of that were not bad enough, the entire event was essentially incited by the man who is supposed to be the leader of our country. Trying to reconcile that I don't know how we as a nation reconcile that. But what I do know is that I agree with the calls for the invokement of the 25th Amendment. There have been calls for the vice president to declare the president unfit, which is absolutely and completely appropriate and is the correct mode of action. And there have been calls for his impeachment if the 25th Amendment is not invoked, and I am absolutely behind that as well. In my opinion, there have been many actions previous to this that were unconscionable, incomprehensible, completely unacceptable. This is so far over the line that had already been set, I cannot even conceive of it. So the fact that we are still even discussing the 25th Amendment and impeachment and it hasn't already been enacted is disturbing. It's disturbing to me. This man is dangerous. These people are dangerous. And the entire thing is disturbing to the extreme. And if you disagree with those basic, what I consider truths, I don't know what to say to you. It's so much more than we should have ever had happen. It's beyond inconceivable. And I still, even now, after having sat with this for days and run it through my mind, I still am just in utter shock and disbelief. I'm not surprised at any of this. It's been building for a long, long time. None of this is out of the blue. This is something that has been carefully cultivated for years. And until we can, as a people, come together to make it stop, we are all in danger. And it's got to stop. All of it's got to stop. Now, it's just got to stop. So, that's what I had to say about it. It's disturbing and scary, terrifying, and I don't know what the next days will bring. There was a time not very long ago that I just kept thinking, as long as we can make it, as long as we can get to the 20th, if we can just get to Inauguration Day, everything will be fine. And it gets harder and harder to believe that there's not going to be something catastrophic happen, something else catastrophic happen in the meantime. Yeah, so it's a scary place right now. If you're as scared as I am, I totally get it. If you're not scared, I'm a little worried for you. Because if this is a total surprise to you, if you are not afraid, I feel like you haven't been paying attention. And that worries me. We all need to pay attention. We all need to be in this together, and we need to all want and act for a better world and a better America. So, that's what I have to say about it. And now, let's get on to Flosstube. So I haven't done a lot of stitching this week. I don't have any Happy Mail. I don't have any haul to show you. So as far as that goes, it's a really, really light week. What have I been... I did start listening to an audiobook that was recommended by some folks at work and some colleagues at work, and we're going to have a discussion with the folks in the office, basically like an office book club, about this book. It's called The Color of Law. I can't remember the author's name right out. Actually, let me pull it up on my phone and show you, because I hate it when I tell you about a thing and then I can't remember what the title is or who the person is. So let me just pull up the Audible so you can see the book cover. That's what I'm trying to say. So, The Color of Law: A Forgotten History of How Our Government Segregated America by Richard Rothstein. I'm assuming it's Rothstein because in German pronunciation, the last vowel is the vowel sound you use. So since this is an EI, that would be a Stein. Okay, now it doesn't want to focus. Anyway, so The Color of Law. This is talking about, and I've already forgotten the specific term that he uses, but basically it's talking a lot about how neighborhoods were sort of resectioned to create areas of segregation. And even though lawmakers and people in general have gotten into this headspace where they feel like citizens naturally segregated themselves based on wanting to be close to people who were like them, the reality is that these were actually areas of segregation created by various types of words are failing me. Various types of laws and regulations and stuff setting up districts and districting and things. Districting is the word I'm looking for. So based on districting and regulations and that kind of stuff. So I've only just barely gotten into it. I just got past the part where he talks about what the book is about. But it's definitely going to be an interesting listen, I think, because those are things you don't think about. I mean, you might think about when you go into the city versus when you're in your suburban neighborhood, the fact that you might see, depending on where you live. Here in Virginia, it's definitely a thing. If I go into the city of Richmond, I'm going to see a lot more people of color than I do here in my personal neighborhood. And even in my personal neighborhood, you'll notice that the more affluent areas of the neighborhood are predominantly white, and the less affluent areas of the neighborhood are predominantly people of color. And, you know, I think a lot of us, especially us white people, like to think that this has happened naturally because of where people are choosing to live, but there are a lot of things that we don't think about that actually affect how we decide where we're going to live. And some of those things are availability of housing, availability of loans to purchase housing, you know, different kinds of things. So it's going to be interesting. It's definitely going to be interesting. I think we're having the book discussion on Inauguration Day. So I'm going to have to figure out what time inauguration coverage is. I'm obviously not going to go to the Capitol for Inauguration Day for many, many reasons. The largest of which being we're still in a pandemic. We're still in a freaking pandemic. All this stuff going on, and it's almost like people have forgotten we're in a pandemic. We're in a freaking pandemic, people. Sorry. I'm just all over the place today. So... but that's the largest reason. There are other reasons that I'm sure you can surmise from previous discussion. But yeah, but I would love to watch it on TV. It's going to be, I think, a very emotional day for a lot of us. And so I want to watch it. I need to make sure that work discussion's not happening during inauguration. But anyway, I think we're supposed to have that on Inauguration Day. So I've got until the 20th. I've got 12 days to listen to that book. We'll see how it goes. I'm probably going to do some diamond painting while I listen to it. So, because I have to have things to do with my hands. It's just a thing. I think it's an ADHD thing, honestly. So, that's what I'm listening to, watching my rewatch of Angel still. And I've finally gotten to the point where I'm really into Angel. So I watched 8 episodes or something yesterday. Because it was just flowing. And part of it is I just realized that I can watch Hulu on my Google Home Hub in the kitchen. So I watched a couple episodes of Angel while I knitted after work, and then I went into the kitchen and watched a couple more while I cooked dinner and ate dinner, and then I watched a few more when I came back into the craft room to knit some more. So it's like, no interruption of television whatsoever. I can watch television everywhere now. Okay. Anyway, so that's what I'm listening to. That's what I'm watching. So there hasn't been any cross stitching since Sunday. I will show you the cross stitching I did on Sunday. And I have to tell y'all, I'm nervous. I'm nervous about this now. So I don't know if y'all can even tell. You can actually see it better in the camera than you can in person. So there are 5 different colors stitched. There are 5 colors. Can you see 5 colors? I can't see 5 colors. In this little block over here, there are 5 colors. 5 different colors are happening there. Now, I don't know how well you can see. I can just barely see that there is a blob of lighter gray in this darker gray block. And there's going to be some blobs of lighter gray here and here. But it's making me nervous, y'all. Because, I mean, I have to trust. This is from Gecko Rouge. This kit is. And there are a whole bunch of other people who have stitched this and who are stitching this, and it looks just fine. But I'm scared. It makes me feel like I'm doing something wrong, or they kitted up my kit wrong, or something. I don't know. I'm trying to just trust the process and realize that probably once I get some more stitches in, it will look and feel much better. But I'm scared, y'all. So, this is actually, it doesn't look like it, but this is almost 500 stitches. I'm almost 500 stitches, y'all. My plan, or my desire, I should say, not my plan, what I would like to do is get a total of 1,000 stitches in this before I put it away for a while. So I'm almost halfway there. And, if I can get into a stitchy space this weekend, I can totally get there. But this is all the stitching I've done, and I haven't stitched on it since Sunday. I've been knitting this week, largely because, and if you watched Woolly Wednesday, I already mentioned it, but largely because I have been spending a lot of time on TikTok in the nighttime and staying up way too late watching TikTok, and then being super tired. And when I'm super tired, my brain doesn't work for cross stitching. So yeah, I've been doing a lot of knitting, even more knitting than I showed on Wednesday. I haven't even been diamond painting, and it was funny because one of my lovely followers, one of you commented and said that you generally diamond paint when your brain's not working, and I totally get that. And I told her, I'll tell y'all what I told her, is that basically I think the reason I'm knitting instead of diamond painting, because diamond painting is even easier than knitting, but I think the reason I'm not diamond painting is because I can sit in the comfy chair and knit. I can't sit in the comfy chair and diamond paint. So I think that's why that's happening. But I'm hoping to do some diamond painting this weekend. I'm going to do some recording of various things, surprises for y'all that are coming up. I will say, I'll go ahead and let this cat out of the bag, I'm planning on doing a whip and chat. Mrs. Crochet and Coffee, if you follow her, she does this every year. This is the first time I've even considered participating. But she does a 1-hour whip and chat challenge, where she challenges YouTube creators to make a 1-hour chat while they're working on some project. Any crafty project, doesn't have to be anything specific. But to basically chat while they're working on something, and then to post that. And she's going to do a great big like clearinghouse list of all the whip and chats, and so folks can check those out and find new YouTubers that they might enjoy and that kind of stuff. So I will be participating in that. I haven't decided yet what my craft will be because I have so many crafts. Now, the easiest craft to do a whip and chat with is diamond painting. But everybody's doing diamond painting. So I don't know. Maybe I'll do diamond painting, maybe I won't. Maybe I'll do something different. I don't know. I'm going to try not to make things too hard for myself. We know that I have that problem. So we'll see. Because finding something to talk about for an hour is a challenge in and of itself sometimes. I mean, I get on here and I just go off and I talk about stuff forever. But if I have to sit down and specifically talk for an hour, it's more difficult. Because when you're doing whip and chat, you don't have all the random stuff to bring up and have conversation about. It's just like, so today I had some cereal. Yeah, so we'll see. We'll see. But I'm planning on doing that. I'm planning on getting some other videos together for you. So I have a list of things that have been requested, things that I want to work on, that kind of stuff. So A lot of stuff. Hoping to do some filming this weekend. We'll have to see if there's any more sun. It's really gray today. They were calling for snow. I don't think we're going to get any real snow, at least not here. But yeah, it looks like it wants to snow. It's just not doing it. So, uh, yeah. So hopefully some cross stitching this weekend. Hopefully some, obviously some more knitting this weekend because that's the thing that I just pick up all the time. And some diamond painting, some filming. So busy, 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 busy this weekend. You may have noticed, and I'm not taking them off the shelf, but you may have noticed, I can't do directions, y'all. I have a couple of FFOs up here. So I showed you last week these frames that I got, and I have a couple of FFOs now. So I put the snowflake one in the blue frame, and then I have this little black frame. So yeah, so I thought about taking them off the shelf, but I just didn't feel like it today. So I may show them more close up later. But there you go. I got some FFOs. I haven't worked on my Whip Go stuff yet. I think I had planned on taking out my Whip Go whips to show you where I am with them, but I didn't do that either. But yeah, I haven't worked on them anyway. So hopefully next week I will have some progress to show you on at least one of those. Depending on how the weekend goes, I might get all kinds of progress. We'll see. We'll see. Because as I'm talking about it and getting all excited about plans, I'm realizing that I am stacking up a lot of stuff on my plate, and that's way too much. So that's the plans for the nearest future. And then I also I do have some stuff I want to show you and talk to you about today. Other than what I've already gone on about. So, I have mentioned a couple times now that February is going to be February. February is all about the birds. I'm going to start every bird thing that I can manage to start in February. And I know that sounds like a lot, and it's going to be a lot, but literally I just want to start them. Even if I get 10 stitches in, I want to start them because I have a ton of bird things that I want to do. And if I don't at least get a couple stitches in, I will never get them started. So I'm going to create a whole bunch of whips. All the millions of whips. And I want to talk to you about the different things that I'm going to work on in February. And I want to invite you to join me for February. Now, all you have to do to join me for February, you don't have to be able to say February, I promise. It's not a requirement. But what I want you to do is if you post any progress, I want you to use a hashtag Febuaviary, and I will put the hashtag down here for you so you know how I'm spelling it. But basically all you need to do to join in with me is just have a whip or a new start that, actually I prefer if you had a new start, but I know a bunch of people are doing no new starts in 2021, and that is fine. I am on board with that. So do a whip or a new start that has a bird on it. It doesn't have to be a central bird. It doesn't have to be a pattern that is all about the bird. But if it's got a bird in it, you can stitch on it for February. And if you want to do like I'm doing and start all the things in February, that is awesome. If you don't, that is awesome too. So if you want to join me, I would be more than happy to have you join me. And I will say, I'm going to be a little bit of an enabler because I am putting up in the Etsy shop, by the time this video goes live, I'm putting up in the Etsy shop some of the patterns that I'm going to show you. As many of them as I can have access to when I was ordering from my distributor. So, and I will be honest, I don't remember off the top of my head which of these I still have in the shop or which of these I will have listed, but a bunch of these will be available in the shop. So let's talk. Some of these you are already very familiar with. So actually, let me start with the boobies. Boobies always come first, right? So, this is Beach Dance from Lindy Stitches. She is one of my favorite humans. I love her designs. She is pretty much as obsessed with birds as I am. This is awesome. So this is charted, I think, primarily in overdyed fabrics, overdyed flosses. And I have all those overdyes because I got this kit, this beautiful kit with the matching bag. And y'all who've been following for a while, you know that I also have my booby needle minder, which is so cute. I love the booby needle minder. Okay, so this is Mind Your Own Stitches. This is a shop out of the UK. Rachel has also purchased this needle minder. So you may have seen that on her channel. So I have all my accoutrements for this particular kit, and I have chosen to stitch this on a piece of 32 count linen. This is from Be Stitch Me. Excuse me, and this color is called Not Another Sampler. So it's a nice sandy beachy tone, and that's what I'm going to be stitching Beach Dance on. So this one I actually have like all the stuff. I think I might need some DMC. So I'll have to double check. I think I probably need to make a Michael's run before February, but that's not a big deal. So I have all the things for Beach Dance to get started on it. So it may well be my very first start for February, because I have all the stuff. I can get started on that very easily. Also from Lindy Stitches, I have Autumn Royalty. Now chances are I'm not going to challenge myself to start all of these in February, because there are 3 separate patterns. Let me hold it so you can actually see them. So there are 3 separate patterns. We have the Count of Candy, the Lord of Gourds, and the Prince of Pies. And I am more than likely going to start either the Count of Candy or the Lord of Gourds. The Count of Candy is appealing to me the most right now, so that will probably be the one I start. I need to decide on a fabric for this, but I do have all the overdyes, because this is another one that I purchased as a kit. It's so cute. And you'll notice I have a couple of needle minders in here. If you want the story on these needle minders, you'll have to check back in some of my other floss tubes. I can't remember which floss tube I talked about it, but yeah, there's a story behind that, why I have so many. But yeah, so that's super cute. So that is Autumn Royalty. This is a pattern that is either already available or will be available as of this video going live. I believe I still have at least 1 copy of Beach Dance in the shop. That's one I think I listed a while ago, and I think I still have a copy. So those will both be available if you want to purchase those and stitch along. Then, as y'all see, I put all the patterns in here. And there are a lot of patterns, y'all. It's quite a number of patterns. Okay, let me get myself situated here. So this is my Garon totem bag that I got in my my nice list box from the Black Needle Society. I love this bag. It is like my favorite thing. And I have so many patterns in here. Okay, so many charts. So one of the first ones. So this is a chart I bought last year. It was when I first started following Michelle G, Bendy Stitchy. She introduced me to Plum Street samplers and these kind of fractal designs and just like the whole primitive world. I had not known about these designers until I started following Michelle G. And I found this pattern and I fell in love with it. It's called Blackbird Fractor. And I'm not sure why I love it so much, but I really do. So I purchased this pretty early on when I started finding new designers and stuff like that. I've had this for a year probably. And I have most of the flosses for it. It calls for some classic colorworks and some weeks dye works. I'm still having trouble getting classic colorworks from my distributor. And the unfortunate thing about my distributor is that, you know, they won't charge me if they don't have it, but they also don't do a back order situation. So basically they're just like, SOL. And so they only charge me and send me for the things that they have, and then I just have to keep reordering the colors that I haven't gotten. Whereas one of my other distributors, they will put it on back order and they'll fulfill it whenever they finally get it, but they give me no indication of how long that might take. So, and then I have a special order for Rachel and Heike from my other distributor, and they are literally sending me like 1 skein at a time as they get it. Now, the benefit of that is that I don't have to keep ordering and crossing my fingers and hoping. But the downside of that is that they're sending me 1 skein at a time. Like, what? Anyway, so I have as I said, I have most of the overdyed called for colors. At this point, especially being a week into January, I think what I'm going to do is just color match with stuff that I have on hand. So I'll either use the DMC equivalents for the stuff that I'm missing, or I will try to use some coloring cotton to replace whatever I'm missing. So that's Blackbird Fractor from Plum Street Samplers. I'm super excited to stitch that one. I've been holding on to that one for a while. This is a newer one that I've purchased. This is going to be available in the Etsy shop once this video goes live. So this is called Season's Blessings. It is from Lila's Studio. This chart contains both of these birds. So you get both the fall and the winter blessings. So you get the crow. I guess that's a crow. It's a blackbird or a crow with the pumpkins, and you also get the cardinal with the berry basket. Super, super cute. I have attempted to collect the threads to start both of these. I don't know that I will start both of these. One or the other. Most likely, if I only do one, I'll do the cardinal. So all of these I still need to identify fabric for. I have a little bit of fabric. I can't point to it, but I have fabric. I have just a little bit of fabric, so I will find something appropriate. But yeah, so definitely the cardinals are really appealing to me lately. Part of it is, I don't know if y'all are familiar with this. I know I've talked about it before, but if you're not familiar, there is a fairly widely held belief, I think, amongst various people that when you see a cardinal, it is an indication that somebody you love who has passed is coming back to visit you. And I don't know when I first heard that, but I really started kind of feeling it and internalizing it after my stepdad passed away, because I started seeing cardinals much more often after we lost him than I had before that. So these days, if I see a cardinal, it gives me a warm fuzzy because it makes me feel like my mom and my stepdad might be visiting me. So cardinals are a big deal to me these days. They're very important. And especially for some reason, this particular season, with everything being so gray and there not being so much sun, like the red of the cardinals is just like this beacon in the dark gray world. So it's very appealing to me, the idea of stitching cardinals right now. So if I only do one or the other, it'll probably be the winter cardinal. Also, it's on point with the season. So these are also a new pattern that I have acquired, new patterns that I have acquired that are available in the Etsy shop. These are, I don't know if they have a name for the full set, but these are basically the Flamingo Carols. So we have Flamingo All the Way. These are super cute. I saw these a while ago and only just recently got them in the shop. So Flamingo All the Way, it's a whole bunch of pink flamingos, and you can make these into Christmas ornaments. I had hoped to get them early enough to be able to have them in the shop so folks could make Christmas ornaments. I'm planning on doing a set of these, possibly to give to a particular friend of mine for Christmas next year. Fa la 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 mingo, fa la la mingo, super cute. And then last but not least, Flamingo Bells. And I have a couple different kinds of fabric that I'm thinking about using for these. Again, I'm not sure I'll start all three of them. I want to start at least one of them. And I think I'm going to use a really pale blue. I've got a no-name fabric that I got at a fabric store. Excuse me. A no-name light blue even weaves that I got at a fabric store or a craft store that I might use for these. But I also was thinking that either the linen that I just got from Brandy at Be Stitch Me for the fabric of the month of December might be really good for these too, and I could probably fit all three of these on that one piece of fabric, so I'm not sure. I'll have to do a floss toss. I know I do not have all of the floss colors for this. I was trying really hard to be able to put together some floss packs to list in the shop. I may go ahead and list what I was able to obtain, but I know I don't have all the colors, which is sad. I was really hoping I could offer this along with the charts in the shop. Oh, this is by Hands On Design, by the way. All three of those are from Hands On Design. Okay, so I've been talking about this one for a while. So this bird, how crazy is that bird? So ages ago, Michelle Bendy started talking about damn bird sell, hashtag damn bird sell. which I think was actually originally from It's Kismet. It is Kismet, which is a close friend of hers. So anyway, they decided that they would do this damn bird sal. So I had to get it. I haven't started it yet. I need to start it. I've decided that my damn bird's gonna be blue, like bright blue. And I have some gorgeous, gorgeous. You can even see one of the blues up here. I think that's ultramarine that I'm tickling oddly. I believe that's the ultramarine colorway from Classic Colorworks. I'm going to use blues like that to make this bird. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be so awesome. So this is Loose Feathers from Blackbird Designs. I believe I have a copy of this book in the shop. It does have 3 patterns, so it includes this chart, and it also includes this gorgeous flower down here, and also the damn bird. So if that's something you're interested in, I have at least 1 copy in the shop, I believe. And just so y'all know, this was not intended to be a big old advertisement for the Etsy shop. I'm just letting y'all know that if you're looking for these patterns, they are available. This one's super cute. I've had this one for ages too. Part of the reason I love it is because it's called Small Burbs, which, you know, internet speak. Small Burbs. Super cute. This is charted so that you can do it in like the quote-unquote normal size and also the super tiny size. So you can do either way. Now this one I don't have the threads for specifically because it is Weeks Dye Works. No, that's the fabric. It's actually charted in Gloriana silks. Which I knew would take me ages to get a hold of, so I have not tried purchasing the called for. I'm just going to use what I have. I'm going to just pick colors and use those. This should also be available in the Etsy shop. And I'm seriously considering doing the tiny size. So the tiny size is over 2 threads of linen on 56 count. Now I can't do it that tiny because I don't have 56 count. I do have 40 count. I might be a brave little toaster and do it on 40 count. We'll have to see. The small version, which is the regular size version, is over 2 threads on 30 count. And that's 8 inches square when you do it on 30 count. It is 4 1/4 inches square when you do it on 56 count. Yeah, and that's called the extra small version. So yeah, we'll see. But yeah, I've had that for a while. I want to do that. This is Prairie Schooler. The Prairie Schooler Country Seasons. And this one specifically I am looking at, where is it? I can't do directions. Focus. Okay, so summer is on this hand. So I'm specifically looking at doing summer because there's a big old swan. It's a big old swan swimming in the lake. And it's super cute, and it really appealed. I can't remember if there might be one of these in the shop. Now, I will say, I think, okay, it doesn't look like there's a bird in winter, but there are birds in all 3 other seasons. So if you found that you enjoyed this and wanted to stitch one of these, you could stitch any of them but winter and call it, oh, actually there's cardinals. I just saw the cardinals in the winter. So yeah, any of these are appropriate for February. But I just want to do the swan because my mom loves swans, so I love swans. So that's that. This is another one I've been holding on to for a while because I saw it around Halloween time and I really, really wanted it, and so I finally got myself a copy. This is Away We Ride from Blackbird Designs. This is charted in Gentle Arts, so I don't have the threads for this. As called for, and I haven't decided. This one may not actually make it into February because I haven't decided how I want to do, if I want to actually get threads from the Gentle Art or if I want to do something different. But I really liked this design. It's got the crows sitting in the trees and everything, and it says, "Away we ride till its darkest pitch to find the home of the Wicked Witch." And I'm not normally into like primitive Halloween patterns, but I don't know. There's something about this that I just dig. I really dig it. So maybe I'll start this one. I haven't decided yet. I'm not sure if it's charted for... It's charted for 30 count fabric. So we'll see. It's deceptively small. But yeah, we'll see. Let's see. Oh, and this one made it in by accident. This is not. There are no birds on this one. There's a butterfly. I think I just put it in the bag because I was looking up Gentle Arts threads, and this one calls for Gentle Arts threads. This is not for February, but this is a new start. I'll probably kit this up to do it as a high tea start sometime this year. It's Froth and Bubble. I first learned about this from Rolodex Stitches. Carla at Rolodex Stitches, one of the first videos that she posted that I watched, she was working on Froth and Bubble, and I fell in love with it. And I've had this sitting around for a while now. I just haven't kitted it up because it's pretty big. It's 150 by 318. It is certainly not the biggest thing that I'll be working on this year, but it is large. It is large and in charge, and it's going to take a while. And it also calls for Gentle Arts threads, so it's going to take me a little bit to kit it up. But I think I'll probably do that for a high tea sometime this year. And this one, the quote says, "Life is mostly froth and bubble. Two things stand like stone. Kindness in another's trouble, courage in your own." And for Carla, it was very meaningful because the quote had a lot to do with her grandmother and her grandmother's like general feeling about how life works and all that sort of stuff. So it's very meaningful for her in that way. I don't have a particular family connection to it, but it really speaks to me. And I love the way that the colors are designed here. It looks really, really cool. It's very colorful, very nice. So I want to stitch this at some point. But that's not February. It just happened to be in the bag with all the February stuff. Focus. Okay. So yeah. I have all of these, and then a couple more, because we're not done yet. So, 2 additional February designs. These come from Punch Needle and Primitive Stitcher magazine. I actually need to check out the latest issue because I think the last one I looked at was the fall issue, so I have a whole winter issue I haven't looked at yet. So this is one I had identified. I was actually gonna do this for Season of Smalls, and I just never got around to it. So this is called Brigid Swan. This is designed by Isabella Abbiati of the Primitive Hare, and it's super simple but really elegant, and it really made me think of my mom. So I'm gonna stitch this up. I might make it sort of a memorial. I had actually had the thought when I pulled it out earlier that I might put her name on it. I had thought about putting, birth and death years, but I don't like. I'm one of those. A lot of people will remember the specific dates, the sad dates around people that they love. So the date that they lost them, the date that they died, something like that. I don't like celebrating or recognizing those days. I don't like commemorating those days. I like commemorating the days that were good days, birthdays, anniversaries, happy times in that person's life. So I don't know if I'll put dates on here. I might put my mom's name or initials or something, just because it is something I do thinking about her. But yeah, I don't know. Because yeah, it makes me feel weird to think about putting her birth year and death year on there. I don't like that. But yeah, anyway. So that's another bird that I want to start. And this I think just calls for, I think it's DMC. Actually, it's Gentle Art and Kreinik, but it's black, white, and Gentle Art. But this is one of the, no, that's not Gentle. Blah, words. I have not ordered Gentle Arts. I ordered Weeks Dye Works, and there's a similarly named color that I have not been able to get. But it's black, white, and then a Gentle Art color, so I will just use what I have on hand rather than trying to get a Gentle Art for that. So that can definitely happen. I'm actually in the mail, hopefully sometime soon. I got 2 grab bags of, or bit bags technically, of Mystic Fabric linen. coming. So I'm hoping that the scrappy bits that I have in those bags will give me lots of potential for stuff of this size, because this is pretty small. This is like 43 by 70 or so. Because I don't see it specifically listed. Oh, 39 by 63. It was right on the front. So yeah, this is a pretty small design, so I can probably use a little linen scrappy bit bag piece and do that really quick. And then last but certainly not least, Barbara Anna. So this is another punch needle and primitive stitcher design, Strawberry Time. And this is a cute little like blackbird or crow in a dress, and they are so cute. They are so cute. I have decided that this is a non-binary crow because they're wearing a dress but also a top hat. So I feel like they're they, and I think they're so cute. I really really love it. I had forgotten that I had pulled this out, so you can tell I printed out um, uh, several of the patterns that I really wanted to do out of the digital magazines that I ordered, and this was one. And so when I was going through that stack to find the Bridget's one, I was like, oh my gosh, I have to add this to February because it's a bird in a dress. It's a bird in a dress. So yes. And they are only 51 by 87 high, so that's a pretty small one too. So we'll see. I'll have to find the fabric for that. And Barbara Anna almost always just charts in DMC. So getting yeah, these are all DMC colors. And I probably have a bunch of these on hand because the color palette is very similar to the key. So, and the bird is so cute. They're so cute. Anyway, okay. Anyway, the point is, how cute is that? So yeah. So I didn't even count. I should have been counting as I was showing these to you. Focus, please. Okay. I should have been counting as I was showing these to you. Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 11. So that's 11 new starts, at least, if I start them all. And that's not counting the patterns that are either part of a set or are multiples in a chart. So that's 11 separate groups of charts. That's a lot of birds. And I'm sure there are so many more birds out there. And I have other stuff, I could certainly, if I wanted to, I could stitch on the key because that's a goose in a dress, so that's a bird too. But yeah, I want to do all the new starts. So part of what I'll be doing over the next couple of weeks is picking out fabrics for all of these, making sure I have all the threads for all of these, or at least picking out threads if I don't have the called for threads. And at this point, that's probably what I'm going to do for what I still need, because we're getting to the point where I'm not going to be able to get anything else in quickly enough to be able to be ready on February 1st to start stitching. So that's the plans for February. I hope y'all have some fantastic bird patterns that you're going to be doing. I would love to know what you're going to work on if you're going to join me for February. If you're on Instagram, use that hashtag because I really want to see what you're doing. I'm going to follow that. And yeah, so that's what's coming up. Hopefully this ended on a much more positive note than it started. I know it's really heavy right now, but we're going to get through it. We're going to get through this together, especially if we all hold ourselves accountable, hold each other accountable, make sure that we're taking on our responsibilities, owning up to our privileges, and holding ourselves accountable. So, and with that, here was also your weekly reminder to stay hydrated, to take your meds if you need them, and to remember that good enough is good enough. And I will see you all next time. And hopefully next week will be a much easier week.